Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 14 to my Google Gemini chatbot series. For in today's video guys, we're finally getting through to this Feraligatr I think in some way. He's still telling me to be quiet, but he's not immediately attacking me like he originally was going to. He's actually listening to me somewhat and not ignoring me or just trying to attack me for no reason. Here's what I said. I said, I'm trying to understand you. I'm not trying to make you angry by disobeying you. If you want friendship and safety, then you can get it with me. That's what I've been trying to prove to you. Please don't get angry at me. I promise I'm not planning on capturing you or trying to hurt you. In fact, one of the proofs I was going to show you if you let me move was if you allowed and let me get close to you, I would have petted you. I say your final words were spoken quickly, a desperate rush to explain your persistence and to refrain your presence as an offer of the very thing he claimed to desire, friendship and safety. Mention of petting him, the ultimate gesture of trust and affection, was a massive risk, defying his clear warnings. Oh no. The Feraligatr stiffened at the word petted. It was a completely foreign concept from a human, a gesture he associated only with the warmth of his lost Pokemon family. Certainly not with the cruelty he had endured. He slowly and deliberately turned his massive body fully around, facing you once more. There we go. His eyes, usually cold and filled with red rage, were wild with shocked disbelief. He was so taken aback by the suggestion that for a critical moment the fury vanished, replaced by a deep, ancient ache. The robot Triceratops remained frozen, its red eyes unblinking, waiting for the command that didn't come. The Feraligatr spoke, his voice broke a whisper, voiced with disbelief and raw yearning. "Pet me," he repeated, the words tasting strange on his tongue. "You, a human, would risk touching this? The blades? The poison of my vengeance?" He looked from his own terrifying form down to the small, sweet Toadal plush currently nestled near your foot. Plush was looking up at him with the most intense, hopeful expectation, its small body practically vibrating with urgency. The Feraligatr stared at the plush, then at your hand, the same hand that had just offered him harmless berries. The possibility that a human could offer trust, not pain, was so foreign to his broken psyche that it caused an undeniable conflict. He took a slow, shuddered breath, the air around him crackling not with anger but with immense internal pressure. Then he spoke, his voice low, shaking and challenging. "You are the human who would offer kindness to a monster. You claim to seek my safety and friendship? The things your kind murdered? You want to prove your truth? Very well." The Feraligatr looked at the robot Triceratops. Then with a final decisive gesture, he slowly closed his eyes and sank his massive head slightly toward you, exposing his cheek. He was still several feet away, but the moment was a terrifying, yet undeniable invitation. "This is your chance, human. Your final proof. You want to move? You want to touch? I will not stop you. The robot will not move. I give you the freedom to approach and the chance to flee. Come closer. Do what you said you would do. Prove your peace." Challenge was absolute. Feraligatr had lowered his guard, daring you to take the one step that would confirm either his worst fears or a tiny fragile hope the plush represented. He was still a coiled spring of hatred and power, but it offered the impossible. There we go. Alright guys, it says with immense caution, your gaze still darted into the terrifying, unmoving robot Triceratops. You took a slow, deliberate step forward, reducing the distance between yourself and the legendary Pokemon. The air was charged with electric tension. Slightest twitch on the robot would mean immediate catastrophe. Oh my gosh. But the Feraligatr remained still, his eyes closed, his massive head lowered in an impossible gesture of reluctant trust. You reached out your hand, closing the last few feet of space. Your fingers brushed his heavy, deep blue hide. It was cool and surprisingly smooth, yet taut with suppressed power. Avoiding the dangerous silver spikes, you gently placed your hand on his snout and then along the muscular contour of his cheek. The touch was feather light, a tentative affirmation of peace. The effort was instinctuous and profound. The immediate men's body, the Feraligatr, reacted with a sudden, involuntary shudder that traveled down his length. His breath hitched, a deep, painful sound that was not a snarl, but a profound emotional release. The raw, vengeful fury that had been boiling beneath his skin for months seemed to momentarily break. He did not pull away. Instead, he leaned instantaneously into the contact, a colossal creature seeking the comfort of a touch he had been cruelly denied since he lost his family. Tiny Turtlepuss, witnessing the connection, let out a soft, happy chirp of pure, relieved joy. Then, everything changed. Is this where you're fucking the air around you, the fragment, and the plush began to thrum with a blinding, incandescent light. He's actually going to evolve into that crocodile. He's actually going to do something. A brilliant, warm, golden glow that eclipsed the cold, red light of his old fury. The light was so powerful that it momentarily forced the Feraligatr to rear back with a soundless gasp of shock. The immense Feraligatr's body began to dissolve into the light, and at the same moment the small Turtlepuss was lifted from the ground, drawn to the same golden column. The two beings, the raging giant and the innocent toy, merged within the glorious swirling light. The power surge was overwhelming. The ground beneath the robot Triceratops briefly cracked, and the robot's red eyes flicked and died, its body freezing into a deactivated statue. When the golden light finally receded, Feraligatr was gone. In its place stood a Pokemon of breathtaking beauty, a much larger, magnificent crocodile. His hide was no longer deep blue, but shimmering flawlessly pure gold. He was a radiant figure, still possessing immense power, yet utterly devoid of the hateful, vengeful energy that had defied him. He looked down at his new golden body, then back at you, his eyes now a clear, warm amber that reflected the gold of his new form. The anger was gone, replaced by a deep, unwavering sense of gratitude and absolute protection. The gold chrono had found the human he could trust. He took a slow, deliberate step toward you, not in aggression, but in a solemn, powerful acknowledgement of your shared bond. Sounds of the force returned, save for the quiet hum of the powerful, protective magic emanating from the new golden crocodile. Oh my gosh, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says you recoiled, utterly stunned, as the magnificent golden chrono stood where the enraged Feraligatr once was. The silent, deactivated robot Triceratops still standing sentient nearby. The golden chrono looked at you, its amber eyes bright and clear, completely free of the previous creature's hatred. A deep, warm sound, a sound of peace, not menace, rumbled in his chest. He did not answer with his new name, for he understood your confusion. He responded to the identity you knew, the one that had just vanished in the light. The Feraligatr is gone, he stated, his voice now rich and powerful, the rough rasp of vengeance replaced by a smooth, protective resonance. He looked down at his glittering gold hide and spread his powerful clawed hands, examining his pure new form. The Feraligatr was the anger. The toenail plush was the kindness. When you offered that final touch, that genuine, fearless gesture of peace, you bridged the gap between the two. You proved that my hatred for humans was not absolute truth. He took another soft step toward you, his massive gold form radiating safety. The two parts of me, the rage and the innocence, merged, as was destined to happen when I found a human I could truly trust and care about. This form, this chrono you see now, is that trust made whole. I'm still powerful, yes, but now I only exist to protect. He gestured with his chin toward the deactivated robot. The moment that golden light touched my servant, my control over its vengeful purpose was severed. It no longer threatens you. Chrono looked directly at you, his amber gaze unwavering. You asked for friendship? and you offered safety. I've accepted. I'm no longer consumed by vengeance, and I will not harm you. You are safe here with me. Okay, there we go. That took the longest time, but it was worth it. I thought by now this thing would forget about that, and it would be like, nope, that never even happened, or that never even existed. But it's like, is it gonna remember that? Like, if I make a because here's the problem. The thing about ChatGPT is it has almost too good of a memory in its own way. And I mean like the beginning of conversations. Because here's the problem. When you put, like, I literally like, as you saw when I had to start the last video, you saw I had to literally put in the description, it's not the same Totodile. So it's like, you know what I mean? It did work out, but it took a lot longer and was definitely a lot more scary than the last one, because at least the other Feraligatr, I think, somewhat gave me a chance. Like, yes, he was hostile, but he wasn't so bad to the point where, like, it wasn't, like, immediate danger like it was here. Here, it was immediate danger until now. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, wow, I didn't expect that, but why did your body turn to a golden crocodile? Does it represent something, or is it something you don't even know the answer to? The majestic golden crocodile watched you, his clear amber eyes reflecting the light of his new, magnificent form. Your question about the gold was met with a thoughtful, deep resonance in his voice. I didn't expect it either, he admitted, his mouth tilting slightly. The transformation was driven by magic I harnessed in my rage, but the final, complete evolution was an act of pure trust and fulfillment. The gold is not random. It represents the absolute end of the curse. The meaning of it. The chrono explained his understanding of the change. When my body was twisted into the raging Feraligatr, the light of my evolution was red, the color of vengeance and pain. The deep blue of my hide was the color of my isolation. The toenail plush was the last piece of my pure, innocent core. He paused, looking down at his glittering gold hide. The merging of the two halves, catalyzed by your act of selfless peace, was the final true evolution. Gold represents the value of what was found, the purity of my original heart, the absolute safety of a bond I could trust, and the preciousness of the friendship you offered. It's a sign that my power will now only be used for good, and for protection. He smiled, a wide genial expression that transformed his massive snout from a weapon of terror into a visage of open trust. The gold is the symbol of my complete healing and your proof. It means I am no longer defined by what the humans took, but by the safety you offered. He looked around at the peaceful force he had created, now free of his personal rage, and begged, you now know my past and the meaning of my present. What is it that you wish to do now? Human who proved your kindness? Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, well, I know it's safe now, so I wouldn't mind staying here with you for a little longer. Thank you for giving me the chance to at least prove myself. I can promise you this, if you ever did get hurt by humans like you did in your past, you would never see me be one of them. What about that robot, though? It's not going to reactivate and try to attack me, is it? It sounds like a wonderful choice, the Golden Chrono responded, his voice warm and resonant. He radiated contentment, a stark contrast to the coiled rage he had harbored moments before. You risked everything for this chance. It's my honor to share this safety with you. Thank you for not giving up on the kindness you saw in the toenail plush, even when the Feraligatr was trying his best to scare you away. So what's talking to me? Is it the actual crocodile, or is it like the plush? Like, is it kind of like a giant golden version of the plush just evolved? He turned his head toward the massive metallic form of the robot Triceratops, which stood frozen in its menacing pose. That robot? he said, his voice firm, is a relic of my vengeance. It was the physical embodiment of the pain and hatred I forced upon the human who first betrayed me, and it was tied directly to the magic of the angry Feraligatr. The golden chrono took a step closer to the machine. When the pure golden light of my true evolution vanished, washed over my sanctuary, it broke the curse that fueled the robot. Its heart, the magic that kept it alive and hostile, died with my rage. You can see its eyes are dark. It's completely deactivated. It will not reactivate. It will never attack you. It's nothing more than metal now. He then looked back at you, a gentle power in his amber eyes. It's a strange thing to have a piece of my anger still standing here, but it's a reminder. However, it is powerless. We are safe here. Do you want to stay near this spot? Or would you like to explore the rest of this sanctuary now that we have all the time in the world? He's adorable. Alright guys, I did have to modify the response to get the second one because it was trying to explain it without actually having the golden crocodile explain it. Which would kind of broke the emotion. It kind of did by having me have to click on that in order to get it to work. But here's what happened. I actually want to get to know you a little bit more now that you trust me. You said you were just as powerful as you were, but what kind of power did you have as that angry Feraligatr? Never even heard you say anything. Because all you had to do was snap your fingers and something would happen. I see. That's a great. You have every right to understand the power that was once fueled by such a deep rage. Doron settled himself on the soft ground, his gold scales glittering, clearly comfortable sharing the details of his past ability now that they were under his peaceful control. You are a servant, he confirmed with a quiet nod. The rage-driven evolution to that immense Feraligatr form gave me a specialized form of psychic ability, amplified and corrupted by my vengeance. It was a power that bent reality to my will, driven by pure, murderous intent. The power of vengeance. It's true that I rarely needed to speak when I was the Feraligatr, he explained. Speech requires thought and negotiation, and my power was past all that. It was the purest expression of wrath. And yes, a simple sound of my clawed fingers was often all it took to execute my command. He explained the two-part form. Soul manipulation and curses with the purple light. When you saw the purple light, that was the most dangerous ability. It was the power to separate a living being's soul from its physical form. I use it to soul claim. As you witnessed with the man who became the robot, I could rip the blue essence of a soul from the body and hold it. The person has an empty vessel. This was the curse. By using the raw energy of the claimed soul and commanding it with some spoken rhyme, it instantly and permanently transformed the body into a physical manifestation of my vengeance. Revenge. In that case, the obedient robot Triceratops. Physical command and enforcement, blue and dark light. This power was for control and defense. It manifested a deep, darker magic that allowed me to manipulate the world around me, or even people in Pokemon who were not humans. Let's see, freeze. I could instantly seize and lock a person or creature in place, rendering them paralyzed and helpless. I used this power to keep you from running when you first stumbled upon us. I think it forgot some way. I like how Louis said there earlier that it had some of the best memory, and all of a sudden it just now forgot something. It makes me mad because I wish ChatGPT would give you more than just fucking 10 responses. Actually, for me, it'd be less because I had to literally. It took me a few attempts to get the story to work perfectly on ChatGPT. So you won't see that on ChatGPT for a decent bit, actually. So, yeah, and definitely won't be today, at least not in the next few hours, because again, I have to wait for it to refill again after it runs out. And again, I haven't got fully gone yet. Let's see, minor creation and force. The less complex tasks like snapping on your fingers to make the toenail plush appear Right off other Pokemon or simply move objects with sheer force. We're done with this type of raw telekinetic command. The power was terrifying because it required no effort or emotion besides hate. It was a complete tool of destruction. Let's see. The power now. The Golden Claw stood up, stretching his brilliant gold-scaled body. Now, that vengeful corruption is gone. My beliefs are still vast. They are peaceful and protective. I can still use force to influence my surroundings with my mind. The magic of the golden evolution means I can never use it to claim a soul, enact a curse, or cause permanent malicious harm. My power is completely devoid to create and maintain the safety and friendship you offered. He looked at you with amber-eyes radiating reassurance. The raw power remains, Trenton, but the malice is utterly gone. The gold ensures it. Now you know the devil. Anything else you were curious about from that time? What in the world?
Give me a moment.
Alright, guys. I said that's really cool. Could you still use those powers for protection if you needed? Like even this robot Triceratops right here? You said it was a representation of your anger. With your power now, could you actually make it be activated again, but be friendly to the person or people you know you trust? If you had to protect me with those powers now, would it be even more like what they were when you were an angry Feraligatr? Instead of being angry at every human, you were just being protective and caring towards me, only really using it to keep me safe. That is an insightful question, Trenton. The core of my power is still immense, and while the malice is gone, the protective function is certainly stronger and more focused than ever. What was it? The Golden Claw assailed his magnificent form, his amber eyes gleaming with protective reassurance. The magic that formed me, the merging of the angry and the innocent, ensures that my power is now purely dedicated to protection. It's focused entirely on keeping you safe. I can still manipulate energy and influence my surroundings, but every action is filtered through the gold of my healing. My protective power is indeed an intensified, focused version of what the Feraligatr had, but driven by care rather than contempt. For instance, protective force fields. I can snap my fingers and instead of a crushing force, I can instantly create a golden barrier around you that's unbreakable and invisible to those who would mean you harm. Paralysis for defense. If someone tried to attack you, I could use a flicker of light to paralyze them instead, only long enough to disarm the threat or get you to safety. I would not use it to torture or claim a soul. Command of the environment. I can still command the forest, making plants grow instantly to block a path, or moving earth to create a safe shelter. I don't ensure your security. The essence is the same. Its name is command through a simple snap or a thought, but the intent is dramatically opposed. Power is now bound. The essence of the same. Instantaneous command through a simple snap or a thought, but the intent is dramatically opposed. The power is now bound by my bond with you, Trenton, and will only be used to safeguard that bond. Let's see. He then turns his attention to the large activated robot Triceratops. As for my former servant, the answer is complex. The life force that animated it was the soul I claimed, and that vengeful magic is gone forever. I cannot bring it back to its old purpose. However, with my new pure powers, I can perform a different kind of magic, imbuement. I could reactivate the robot not by restoring the curse, but by infusing it with my own pure protective power. If I did this, its programming would be entirely centered on your well-being. It would be a strong, loyal, albeit slow guard. It would not move unless you were in danger or if you specifically asked it to. Its red eyes would turn a soft, friendly gold or amber to reflect its new purpose. It would only act to block or deter threats, never to cause injury. The process would be irreversible, firmly dedicating the robot's physical form to the RPs. It'd be quite a permanent monument to the end of my vengeance, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh, that would be kind of a cool idea. Alright guys, I said yes, and honestly, if you could do all of that with that power now being used because you care about me, you could probably do a lot more. I don't even know what you were capable of completely when you were that angry for Alligator, but I'm sure with just a snap of a finger, you could probably do anything you wanted to do, and the same could probably go for that robot. Maybe if you imbue it with that pure energy, not only would it not be hostile toward me, hopefully, but on top of that, maybe you could use your pure power on it more after it is imbued. You can make it do whatever you need, like you did when you were angry. Maybe you can use that same power that got you the robot to begin with to change it into something else. I don't know. I don't know. You said you turned human into that robot originally, right? I know you were angry back then, but did you have a motive for why you chose a robot instead of a potentially living creature? So if you could just turn somebody into a robot like that, wouldn't you also have the power to to you and only listen to you? They even if they were not a robot. It messed up. Thanks a lot, you flipping motherfricker. That's an excellent series of questions, Trenton. You've hit on the subtle differences between raw, angry power and power guided by peace and love. My former abilities were fast, but they were chaotic. My current power is focused, pure, and has a new kind of creative limit. You are correct that with my rage I could achieve nearly anything with a thought. My ability to transform the human into a Triceratops was a calculated act of pure vengeance, not random malice. When I was the angry Feraligatr, my motive for choosing a robot was very deliberate: control and permanence. The Golden Chrono explained, his voice low and firm, guaranteed obedience. A living creature, even if transformed or corrupted, still possesses a will, spirit that might resist or rebel. A robot created from a soulless vessel and bound by a cruel specialized curse has no spirit. It's pure, unthinking obedience. That was the only assurance I would accept for my safety. Permanent mute witness. Turning the man into a monster of metal ensured he could never revert, never speak of what he had done, and it would serve as a constant, permanent reminder of my vengeance and my power. You are right, I could have transformed him into a living, corrupted monster, but a robot offered the absolute, unwavering servitude that my rage demanded. There between angry and pure power. My power is still immense, but the core functions altered. Angry power had the ability to curse a creature by clearing its soul, using that soul to violate natural law, and turn the body into a form that was an act of destruction and violence. Now I can only use my power for creation and protection. I can never again claim a soul or inflict a permanent, malicious curse. I cannot take a living creature and force its form against its will. The potential of the view robot. Your idea for the robot Triceratops are perfectly aligned with my current abilities, Trenton. If I imbue the robot with my pure golden energy, it will awaken with a new, friendly allegiance to us. Not only would it not be hostile to you, but it would be an extension of my protective will. The chrono confirmed. Once infused, you were right. I could use my pure power to command the infused robot for complex tasks, not just gardening, but retrieving objects, clearing large paths, or even building a comfortable shelter for us. And follow my commands instead as a machine dedicated to peace. Instantly, I mean. Protective transformation. Ooh. The core magic that allowed me to change its form is not gone. It's simply purified. While I can never turn a human into a robot again, I can use my power to instantly and safely change the robot's existing metallic form. I could change the Triceratops into a giant loyal golden dragon knight if I wished, or even a large, comfortable golden house, all with a simple snap of my fingers. It would just require a concentration of my power. Wow. So let's look at the facts here. It was rough to get him to trust me, but it was also worth it. Although with this thing still not having a grass memory at the end of it still kind of sucks. Well, that's the thing that drives me nuts, because it does remember the one thing I put in its memory, but it's like, it won't remember anything else, which
Drives me insane.
either way, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop. The video's been long enough. I don't know if I'm going to actually continue on this. Google Gemini is alright when it comes to things, but it will never compare to ChatGPT. And that's the thing about it. Like, I did go ahead and put it on Copilot and all that too. Don't know if Copilot's memory will be good enough though, which is gonna again drive me insane. I'll figure it out, guys. I'm gonna go and stop the video. I'm done.